look pretty stoked on your face for sure, man.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest. I'm not a very attractive man, so I find the more unattractive I make myself look in pictures, it kind of works for me. I'll be honest. It really gets me by.
I've seen dudes way uglier than what you look, man. Just saying, no, I'm into chicks. Don't get me wrong, but you're not ugly.
Man. No shame. I like chicks too. We can talk about girls. I don't mind. I know there's some rumors out there that keep people guessing, but keeps it interesting.
All right. Now, let me ask you something. You know that saying they say you are who you hang around with. You've heard of that before, right?
Of course.
Okay. Who were you hanging around with at that age that just made you get into the whole breeding thing, like when it turned into like a lifestyle? You know what I mean? Because I know you probably started young, like you were saying, when you got into reptiles. But I mean, do you have people that you are still affiliated with that you were with from the beginning, and it's just like you grew with them type of thing, or like how did you build your surroundings? What I want to know.
I mean, I've really been moving around a lot the last 15 years. Really just, my grandparents put in a fishing pole in my hand. Getting me in nature really just made me love everything about reptiles and fishing and all that. My parents willing to let me have a bunch of tanks all around the house, even though they didn't really like it that much. And like I said, the turning point was really in 2002. A guy at my local pet store started telling me about this, the colors, the breeders, the shows in Daytona, and that was kind of it. Like I said, I just kind of nerded out from there on out, man. Just King Snake back in 2002. They had all the different bragging posts and things in there where people were showing off their boas. Facebook wasn't even a thing yet. Right. Everybody went to King Snake. We were all shopping there. We were going to Fauna and looking up stuff. And I want to say the first time I made it down to Daytona would have been like 2005. And, I know everyone said the glory days were a little before that, but Daytona in 2005, you couldn't move. I mean, there were people crowded around tables looking at posset pieds, trying to pick out markers and pay top dollar for it. If there was a closet, they would open up a closet and put a table in it. But those are special shows. But honestly, for me, like ones that stand out, Reptiles by Mac had the T-positive Argentine boas on their table. Like real big T-positive Argentines. One of the most beautiful big boas you'll ever see. Hans was there with leopard boas back then. Nerd had his table with soul suckers on it, and ball pythons no one ever saw. And even near the entrance, there was a guy that had what he was calling the circus ball python, and I want to say he bred a het clown to a import, and it made a clown ball python, but with these white flames up the side, and it almost looked like a Russo. It looked like Russo influence that you get now, but just a really unbelievable animal. But honestly, like I said, I've been surrounded by, some good people, and, the good people I've kept around. And, North Carolina was really that big step. Like you said, Matt Robinette, talking reptiles with him. Ted Williams back then was just, his hognose collection was unlike anyone else's. Limey, like I said, getting out and doing shows with him. And, partnerships, honestly, if it wasn't for the partnerships I had along the way, I wouldn't even be where I'm at right now. Like, it took people believing in me, and I will say partnerships are tough sometimes because you want both sides to always be happy, and if one guy makes a mistake, hopefully that person feels guilty for it. But like I said,
my core statements is the only ship that never sails is a partnership. So and the best kind of ships are friendships. So.
You got your Joe, bud. Your Joe is a guy that, I don't know how involved you are in partnerships, but, that's a friendship before anything else. But you're right, partnerships can be a little difficult, but I think as long as you take unrealistic expectations out of things, I think they do just fine.
Yeah. As long as you guys, I feel like as long as the trust is always there, you know what I mean? And that's never broken, you know what I mean? And there's always a sense of seeing eye to eyes, and even though you won't see eye to eye, I'm just saying you respect each other's, views on things. And
and that's one thing, reptiles, I'm a high school dropout, so I didn't understand science and things like that. I had to learn it all on my own. But for those of you out there that are getting into business, if you want to look at it from an evidence-based perspective, just search the percentage of business partnerships that succeed, and you can find some evidence-based stuff on it. But it's not a very great outlook. So I would try. One of my mentors, Mark Bailey, told me that real early on. He goes, just breeding loans, all that bullshit. Don't do it. He goes, keep it simple, do the right thing, keep healthy animals, don't have too much stuff, you know, like it. But that's a separate rant. I think, but what he's asking you, and then kind of what I've been asking the same question is, who are these, you know, these key figures that made you who you are? And so, you know, so we were leaving off kind of at Junior, and Junior I feel like had to have been just such a major. I don't think people understand, and they don't, because he doesn't care. And nobody.
Who's Junior, guys? Just so I don't know who Junior is. Like, I don't know.
And that's my point. Is Jeff Junior from JMG? He's literally been doing this since he's out of the womb. I mean, I don't know when
early teens. They started at a very large scale.
Yeah, like when you walk into Tinley, like there's a hierarchy of positions of where you are in the room.
Yeah, right.
And, the first table you see is Jeff Junior's on the right, and there's a reason for that, because that's know, yeah.
At Tinley or any big show you're talking about, or
at Tinley specifically, you'll always see him there, and then usually before Dave had his own big setup, he was always at that table. He's very close with Daisuke. They're good friends. Daisuke is a Japanese guy that kind of takes all the important reptiles to Japan, and the time me and Dave were coming up, and I'm sure still now, basically your show was determined by what Daisuke bought from you, and if he didn't buy anything from you, you're probably in big trouble. But that's back in the trash bags full of cash era and things like that. So Junior's been all over the world, and but he's a savant. He has a level of intelligence probably like I've never seen, and his intelligence with reptiles is huge. So that when I looked at things with you, I was very jealous that you got to have like that personal of an experience with Junior, because you must have learned so much. Just not just that 10 months, but just within your friendship with him, that must have had a big impact on you.
I mean, I'll be honest, I probably do regurgitate things quite a bit that he puts in my head, just because, like you said, he's well spoken, and just like you, man, never finished high school, but damn, like that guy can figure out things like most people can't. But no, I won't take anything away from that. And, I said a lot of other people, like I said, the toughest thing about this is I just know so many people that have been like, great people in this industry. But, Junior, like I said, I really do love Junior. Even hanging out with his father, doing the Comic-Cons, hauling these boxes of baby heads around made of cement, great fucking time, man. Love doing that with them. But no, like I said, Junior, Junior and what his father did, there's a lot of really significant people in leopard geckos, but, Junior and his father early on, working with a lot of line bred traits, did a lot of really amazing things. And, I don't think that many people outside of the gecko community realize exactly what they've accomplished over the years. Yeah, honestly, it seems like everything they've ever worked with, whether it was working with leopard geckos and fat tails, and even what Senior did with corn snakes.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to get his collection when Senior got out, and it's some of the coolest corn snakes I've ever seen in my life. And I never really planned on working with corn snakes, but after seeing that collection every day, I couldn't stop wanting to have them around the house. And, we produce X amount, but, it's one of those things that, I like having them around. We produce some. Most of them go to Hong Kong. We don't even really sell them in the United States with that project. But no, honestly, Junior, I don't want to be cocky and assume that you're going to have me back out again, but, if we ever want to do this again, I would love to have a guy like Junior out here talking with us. And there's a lot of other people that have, just been really good influences on what they've worked with in the hobby that I think they're worth talking to.
Man, that'd be sick. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I haven't had a lot of time to put a lot of my, at least my part of the vision of what I wanted this to be. But I definitely envisioned having you on regularly to kind of fill us in on what's going on with ball pythons and the show scene and stuff, because you're so entwined with who's who's the money guy this year, who's the new project, who's the drama, who's the new dick meme, whatever, you're so on top of it that I feel like we could get a lot of good stuff out of you. So
for sure.
I mean, my ability to copy and paste a penis on a good background is, it was really my 16th chapel. Like, I was a savant. Like I've never been so good at anything in my entire life. I'm not proud of it, but I'm pretty proud of it.
No, I mean you are a penis expert, and you've taught a lot of people a lot about that, and like what is it about the quarter test you told me one time? Like like a quarter, you put a.
Are we talking about my thickness? What do we? I missed that. You kind of broke up a little bit.
Oh, you're something about a quarter, like you had to put how many of this on it or something.
Quarters maybe.
Yeah.
See, the problem is with my penis references, I have so many, and I do drink sometimes. I don't always remember them all, but it sounds right.
Yeah, always talking about penises. And
well, you know what the really funny thing is, and I mentioned to Matt Robinette on the phone before we got on here. I mean, we were talking about your penis before, about an hour before I got on this, and it's not that I don't see anything wrong with it. I tried to make a penis joke to him as I was driving, and I just don't think he got it. Based on the fact I didn't get an LOL afterwards.
Okay.
But
sorry. I was laughing. Trust me, we were all laughing. It was hilarious.